All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. So what you see in front of you is a very thrashed, what I believe to be, because I can't find the sticker on it, is a 2017 TRX250x. Now, if you can tell me that it's something else, please help brother out, because I can't find anything else to lead me to believe that it's not a 2017. The person that sold it to me for $250 because they said it does not run. And of course it looks like shit. It's missing plastics. And at one point in time, they thought it would be a good idea to paint the bike like a flat black to make it look cool. And it doesn't look cool. It's been sitting outside in the sun since I've seen it, the last 3 years. And I've been asking at least once a month if I can buy it. And he finally caved and sold it to me. So 250 bucks. I transported it over to my house, and this is how you see it. So we're gonna attempt to get it running. If we can get it running, then maybe we'll put a little bit more money into it to make it look better. But for right now, the main focus is to see if it even runs. So I'm gonna set you guys up so you can kind of see me dig into it, and we're gonna see what we're looking at. So this is what it looks like with all the plastics taken off of it. As you can see, it's definitely a mess. So what I'm thinking is apply some aircraft stripper to it. Hopefully get the plastics white. It looks like they've had several paint jobs at some point in time. I see white, clearly there's a black on top. There's some red mixed in there. So somebody definitely has painted those up. Air filter. So I just put some fuel in it not too long ago, so there's fuel in the tank. I'm going to assume that the float is stuck because I had this turned all the way to the right, and I started to have fuel leaking out of what I can only assume is meant to be a discharge line. If just like what's happening now, if there's an abundance of fuel going into the carb. So I'm gonna try to tap the carb a couple times here in a second just to see if maybe the carb's float is stuck. I did get a new battery, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the new battery in here, and we're gonna see if I can get it to start. I don't know, and I'm gonna have to look online here momentarily, but I don't know how this harness is routed, because this is how the starter solenoid was. Clearly that does not look correct. This end over here also had a similar looking connector, so I'm assuming that this one is probably going to be the part that needs to connect to the battery, and then whatever this is maybe should connect to the solenoid. But again, I gotta look at a wiring diagram to make sure that I'm not gonna make a mistake here. All right, quick update. So from the wiring standpoint, I went ahead and traced everything back to its sources. Clearly this is the power wire. You've got the solenoid that is making contact with the battery. The solenoid itself will allow power to go to the starter. So this thick cable right here goes all the way down, traces all the way to the starter back there. This is the power side of it, okay? Back side of it looks like somebody kind of cut and spliced this. I don't know if this is OEM or not. Definitely does not look OEM. Definitely not as flimsy as some of the connectors that you can get at like an AutoZone or, you know, a parts store. Anyways, this is going to be the negative side. This one connects directly to the engine casing, so that is going to ground out to not only the frame but the engine itself. So as I mentioned before, I went ahead and bought a battery. We have I don't know how to pronounce this, Waze 12 volt 8 amp hour sealed battery. I'm going to go ahead and connect it up here in a second to this little wiring bird's nest that I have here. In order to get it started, I went back around and I was kind of looking at how this little like dash is set up. It was missing a key, and I knew that when I bought it. So I went ahead and bought one of these keys that has a harness on it. The harness itself that comes with the key basically is plug and play. So everything that I had taken off, which is this guy right here that had been cut and spliced together, we don't need that. But from the replacement standpoint, it is pretty plug and play. The harness connects into the frame wiring harness, and then you've got just this green wire that has its own pin that again connects to the chassis wiring harness. So now I have a working key, and once I put the battery in, I should have power to the bike or to the quad. Now whether or not it'll run or not, I'm not sure. If I can get power, I can attempt to start it. It's an electric start. As you guys know, it's not a kick start. So as long as it's not on an emergency stop, we don't need lights, anything like that. So, you know, we're gonna plug it in, turn it on, see what happens. I'll set you guys up. Before I even attempt to do that, I'm gonna go ahead and make a couple taps on the carburetor just to make sure that that float's not stuck. As I'd mentioned before, the overfill or drain line, whatever you want to call it, was dripping fuel out pretty steadily. So before I turn that petcock back on, I'm going to make sure that the carburetor can at least hold fuel without dumping it out. So I'm going to set you guys up while I plug in the battery, and then we're going to see if we can get it started. Okay, green light's on. I'm gonna open up the choke. Choke is on. I give it 2 pumps of gas. And it's in neutral. Here goes start. Okay, after it died, let's try that one more time. 2 pumps of gas. Start. All right, so although it does start, it does not stay running. That's with the carb choke fully engaged and with the choke off. I have to continue to give it gas. So I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna show you guys the thumb throttle and we're gonna go from there. So it starts. Let's pull the choke back up. 2 pumps of gas. Start it. Okay, I'm gonna use 2 hands, one to start, continue to hold the starter, and then the other one on the thumb throttle real quick. Okay, so if I lightly press the throttle, it's good to go, but the moment I let go of it, you can hear it starting to die. And it's backfiring. I don't know, what do you guys think? Does the carb need to be cleaned? Do I need to check the jets? Is it something with the valve clearance because of the backfire? Let me turn this off for now. I think for right now, what I'll do is continue to disassemble it. Maybe I'll take the carb off and try to get it cleaned up. Make sure this is on all the way. Yeah, this is on. Doesn't look like we're leaking fuel anymore. I guess I could check the spark plug too, just to make sure that it's looking okay, firing correctly. The boot looks like it's seen better days, but you know, maybe if I get a new spark plug, some dielectric grease, put some gas in there. I think there's, I don't know, probably maybe that much gas from my gas can that I filled up the other day for another project. Or it was actually for the C10, but open to suggestions. So for any of you guys watching that are into these Hondas, again, this is a TRX250x. Let me know. All right, so I think I found the issue. On the carburetor on the right-hand side, there was a vacuum line that was not connected. This guy right there. I went ahead and put it back in place, and now you can see it is actually stable. It's been running. I need to do some more research, so I apologize if I'm an idiot, but I don't know what the proper direction is for on, reserve, or off. It seems to be running better if I point the arrow that way. Still needs to do a tune-up. There's a light tapping noise coming from the engine. I don't know if this particular motor is noisy or if we have maybe some piston slap going on, so who knows. You guys let me know what you think. Again, appreciate you watching. This is Fahrenheit Motorsports. You guys have a great day.